Now, welcome. I'm here to tell you something, and I might as well start with a quote from a TV show.
My name is Barry Allen, and I am the fastest man alive.
But that is wrong. So wrong. I'm going to tell you a couple things about Barry Allen that you might not know. First of all, Barry Allen was not the first Flash. You might have got that from other YouTube channels, but, he wasn't the first Flash. He was the second one. But the second one wasn't even the best one. That would be the third one. We're going to talk about Wally West. Started out as Kid Flash, became the Flash. Let's do this. Here's the thing about Wally West.
Go, 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 gotta go fast. Gotta go fast. Gotta go faster, 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 faster.
Why do people like Wally West? So you might be on Flash fan sites and wondering why there's a big, why Wally's a big deal. Why people love him so much that they want to see him become the main Flash again. He was the Flash on Justice League Unlimited. Remember that great cartoon? Yeah, awesome, right? Remember how fun and cool he was?
But first, I'd like to say a few words about habeas corpus. Yeah, habeas corpus.
Yeah. But Wally West is a lot more than just a fun personality. You see, Wally West is the guy who made the Flash mythos. Now, what do I mean by made the Flash mythos? He introduced the most important thing to the Flash core concept at this point. The main thing every Flash story is now built on. He introduced the Speed Force.
Ha! Bet you sonic boom when you fart!
Definitely not how the Speed Force works.
He introduced the Speed Force. With that, he became the best Flash. Okay. It wasn't just the Speed Force, though. While that is a core concept of the Flash, that is only one of the reasons people want to see Wally back. Mostly they want to see Wally back because he's a good character. You see, Wally, compared to a lot of other superhero and legacy characters, has an arc to him. An arc that hasn't really been replicated. To be fair, here, Wally is probably the most successful legacy character in all of comics. And before you go in, but what about Miles Morales or any other character or any of this? He had the Flash comic for 20 years, plus more. He was the main character of an ongoing book that lasted about 250 issues. That's huge. Him as the Flash. That was a long run, with multiple creator talents. And for most part, was a really good series. From up till the last issue with Jeff Johns, it's a really great comic. It starts out back in the 80s with Mike Baron taking over it. And then it goes on all the way up to Jeff Johns and with one creative team I cannot think of the name of. They do one last arc of that run, but that's not important. The reason that Wally became big as he did was because they gave him an actual character arc that lasted. You see, Wally West starts out as a teenager, as a sidekick. He started out as Robin, basically. He was Kid Flash. Wore yellow spandex, had red pants. You saw his hair, redhead dude. He started out as a sidekick, and he was on the New Teen Titans. He was, a sidekick. But then he did what no other sidekick did in comics up to that point. Actually took over the mantle. And if someone else did that before him, nobody cares. He took over the mantle of the Flash, and his arc was about simply, was he good enough to replace Barry? And while that sounds like that sounds like it could be boring, and a lot of other characters have that as a thing. Like, Miles Morales as a character can't go one arc without saying, I am Spider-Man. Say it enough and maybe it'll happen one day, but right now, eh. But Wally did arc also involved another aspect. To an extent, he didn't want to surpass Barry. You see, Barry was his uncle, his mentor, the guy he really looked up to. So Wally didn't want to take over. He didn't want to be better than Barry. He just wanted to be Barry. And when the chance came to become better than Barry, he had to accept it. Because he needed to be better, because he was fighting his greatest arch nemesis, the Reverse Flash, the guy who killed his aunt. Okay, there's a complex story involving time travel here. Let's just say she came back to life. Leave it at that. It involves future stuff.
When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
I don't want to turn this into a complex continuity video here. Let's just look over there, next to the Hawkman stuff, and we'll be fine.
Hang on, you kooky bird. We've got a job to do.
Don't look over there, actually. Anyway, Wally West ended up, defeating him and taking over. And from that point on, it became a high-stakes speed run of just becoming a better Flash, a faster Flash, a more creative Flash. One of the coolest things about the Flash is that, compared to a lot of other superheroes, he only has one single power: super speed. And here's the idea of a perfect Flash story. The perfect Flash story is, put the Flash in this situation. How does he use super speed to get out of it? Well, here's a couple stories with Wally using that. What if he was thrown from a plane? Falling 60 feet, 60,000 miles out of the plane. How does he get out of that?
Sure hope I think of something before I hit the ground.
What if he's trapped in a glass elevator about to see someone assassinated? How does he get out of that elevator and stop the assassination? What if he's in a movie theater seeing a shooting about to happen? How does he go about these things and use his super speed to stop that? And there are so many stories within that Flash run about that. Really cool, interesting stories.
You're asking the world's fastest man to slow things down?
That you should give yourself the chance to read if you ever find them. And there are plenty of ways to find them. While Barry Allen might have been the most definitive Flash, okay, if I'm going to be honest here about Barry here, Barry, for a lot of people, is a very milquetoast character. And I mean that, very boring, very bland. And Wally was never that. He always had a personality to him, even in other titles like the New Teen Titans. Always a stronger character than you would think. So, Flash was this interesting character. And he ended up, having this arc where it starts out, I don't think I'm good enough to be the Flash. No, I have to be the Flash. And that's an amazing arc to go through. You see the sidekick go through every detail to become the hero he was meant to be. And that's why people like Wally. They like this character who went through this history of doubt to throw that away to become the next hero, the Flash. And that's why I think Wally deserves the mantle. He's a cool character. And there are so many good stories to him. But if you might be wondering how is it possible to get into this run, like I said, it's over 200 issues. Well, there are specific ways you can get into it. My recommendation is that to start with the kind of middle-ish run, where it starts with, product placement. With the Mark Waid run. While Mark Waid might be a bit of a controversial creator to a lot of people, this was before he went a bit off the deep end. Don't check his Twitter ever. His run in the 90s Flash comics are really good. And you might be wondering, but they're from the 90s! Am I going to deal with... You're going to deal with a little of edge, don't worry about it. It was the 90s, there were good comics published in the 90s, darn it. No, the Mark Waid run is probably where you want to get. Not only does it recap his origin as Kid Flash at the beginning, it also gives you a solid foundation with an interesting cast of characters, including his love interest, who he eventually marries, Linda West. Really great character, too. She has a lot of great development, especially with Wally. And you also get interesting speedster characters like Max Mercury, or the 90s version of Kid Flash, Impulse, who basically is the worst possible idea but a great character. The Flash with ADHD.
Impulse? That's so Crash! Catchy, dramatic, one word. Like Nightwing, and Robin, and Beast Boy, except that's 2 words. Blue Beetle's 2 words. Hey, is he here too? Never mind. Impulse can find that out for himself.
Yeah, I know. It's great. Trust me. Wally West is a fantastic character. Give him a chance. And like I said, that's the thing about Wally West. Check it out, and there are plenty of great graphic novels to start with. You can't go wrong with the Mark Waid, Grant Morrison, Mark Millar, or Jeff Johns runs on the title. Check him out when you can, and enjoy the character. And maybe check him back out on Justice League Unlimited.